Welcome back to Choco Zone Podcast, guys. This is the last episode before the summer holidays. We will be back in autumn, and for this last episode, we are very happy to be with Vicente Guitierrez Cacep. He is the CEO of Cacep Chocolate, an important tree-to-bar chocolate of Mexico. Welcome to episode number 18 of our second series of Choco Zone Podcast. This episode it is the last before the summer stop, and we are in Mexico, in the hot Mexico, in the south of Mexico. We love this country and the history of this country, that it is important also for the cocoa. This time we are at Villahermosa in the Tabasco state, where we meet Vicente Guitierrez Jr., owner of Cacep Chocolate. Hello, Vicente. How are you?
Hi there. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Vicente.
Welcome
So nice to be here.
in our podcast. Yeah, it is a big pleasure also for us, because we know that your brand is very important for the chocolate market of Mexico. Usually, we ask to our guests to introduce themselves by telling how they were before to meet the chocolate. This time I think it is good to ask more how did you started to make chocolate in the 1987, and then also something more about the place where it is your factory.
Yeah, sure. Well, actually, the one that founded the company was my father, that he's also called Vicente Gutierrez Sr. in this case, but he is Vicente Gutierrez Cacep. That's where the name come from, because it's his last name. Um, about my life around chocolate, I could say I was born with chocolate, because by the time I was born, my dad already had founded the company. Uh, Before he founded the company, he actually was a mechanical engineer. So he has nothing to do with chocolate. And the story begins with my grandmother. She bought the hacienda, the farm, the plantation. She bought it from his brother, Juan Cacep. So it's all land. And it eventually arrives to my grandmother. Yeah. And by the time my grandmother has the plantation, she tells my dad, "Hey, do you want to come here to work with the farm?" And he says, "Yes, sure." And that's how he started working with cacao plantations. At the beginning, he only bought and sold cocoa beans, but then he met a person. Actually, this person was from Germany, and he told him, "No, you are wasting your time. You are wasting money. You need to make chocolate." And then he started trying, making some samples. At the beginning, it was all um high content sugar chocolates, because that's what people used to eat. And well, after 30 years, he developed around 200 products,
Oh,
200
wow.
different products. So
All bars, all different chocolate.
oh, we have different chocolates. We have small bars like 20-gram bars, 85-gram bars, 1 kilogram bars, 200-gram bars. We also have I don't know how you call it in English, but like these cookies covered in chocolate. Uh, we have chocolates filled with
Which is the one in Spanish?
Yeah, different kind of production with chocolate. Before to arrive to the chocolate, let us know more about the cocoa that you have in your region. I know that in Mexico the cocoa it is only in the south, so in the Tabasco country and also a little part of Chiapas. But let us know more about the cacao, the kind of cacao you have here in your region.
Sure. In Tabasco, we could say the production in Mexico is 70%, a little bit less Tabasco, and like 30% Chiapas. We have another 1, 2, 3% in other states, but the most representatives are Chiapas and Tabasco.
How much
Uh,
cocoa beans you can produce per year?
we have uh, all varieties. Well, most people categorize cocoa beans in Trinitario, Forastero, and Criollo. The one that we have more right now is Criollo because there was a movement in the nurseries, cacao nurseries, that we should plant white almond that is commonly Criollo cacao. So all these nurseries got these cocoa trees and planted it. Therefore, we have this pollination, and most of cacao right now, we could say, is Criollo, even though it's all combined right now, all mixed. But we can still select varieties to make like a specialty chocolate, one variety chocolate. But we actually produce most types of cocoa beans. Sorry.
Do you make also some blend?
We also the most we use is blend cocoa beans, yeah,
Okay.
because it's the most common. Most of the cocoa producers don't select the beans like separate them by variety. They all combine all the cocoa beans, so it's difficult then to have a monovarietal cacao.
So I guess that in the south of Mexico, it's quite important for the farmers, the cocoa beans business. Do you do they sell locally, more locally, to the bean to bar chocolate makers, the small makers, or to the big company in US, in Europe? How is divided the cocoa beans market?
Well, I was just speaking to a producer, and they are not very happy about the cocoa market because prices have been the same for years, and it's been difficult because we have a lot of inflation, you know. But it's a major economic sustain, I think. Well, the cocoa beans help the economy of the families, but right now some people is abandoning the cocoa farm because they have other opportunities, because the same time uh, Tabasco is a big oil producer, so most people are going to work to Pemex or the oil companies, and sometimes farms are being abandoned. So right now, what we are trying to do is that producers not only make cocoa beans, but they make chocolate, so they can improve their economy. And you know, the more you transform a product, the more you can get. So that's the way we are trying to solve the the reduction of production of cacao beans in the region. But yeah, we try that cacao beans is becomes a thing again. So it gets important again.
Yeah, let us know something more about your brand. And I know that in Mexico the compound is very common, no? The sweet with sugar. So since 1987, which kind of difficulties you met to try to go ahead with the real chocolate in the market of mass?
It's it's very difficult to say. We actually work in a niche market. Uh, or one of our main markets is the organic market, and therefore we try to produce cacao beans organically. Um, in the case of compound, we don't use compound. Most companies use compound, and well, they achieve having lower prices. But people right now is changing their ways of eating, so they want to eat healthier. And well, all of this comes from the US. It's in Mexico. It's like the US always gets like a tendency first, and then it goes down to Mexico. And right now, it's very common to find, I don't know, vegan people, vegetarians, fit people. So they are changing how they eat chocolate. That instead of eating a high sugar content compound chocolate, they look for darker chocolates, for example, 70%, 80%. Those uh, those both are the most common that this kind of people eat. They try to be healthier.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned before the different bars you produce in a matter of grams. Okay, so size of the bars. Can you tell us if you have also different kind of in variety? I don't know. Do you make white milk, dark chocolate? Do you put inclusion in your bars? Which is the variety of your production right now?
Yeah, or we have like 8 basic types of chocolate covertures. Like we have white chocolate, then we have 2 types of milk chocolate, and then we have 8 types of dark chocolate. Those are the basic types from which we make different types of chocolate. We vary it depending on, I don't know, seeds we add. Maybe we can add almonds, we can add peanuts, we can add many things. We also have chocolates that are sugar free. Uh, for example, chocolate with maltitol or monk fruit. We have this. We have like 3 types of this kind of chocolate. And well, maybe the most important chocolate that you want to talk about is you call it chocolate a la taza.
See, that is quite famous in Latin America, isn't it?
Yeah, we call it chocolate de mesa.
Ah,
Yeah, it's different because here in Mexico we have a tradition with this. Uh, Commonly, chocolate is made of fermented cocoa beans, but in this case, we use another uh, post-harvest process that is called cacao lavado, which means
okay.
uh, wash and sun dry cacao beans. Uh, we just wash out the mucílago, the, the thing surrounding the bean.
Yeah.
Uh, we dry it in the sun like 5 6 days, and then we make chocolate out of it. We add sugar, we add cinnamon, uh, we add other species. We can call it like pepper, for example. It depends on the customer.
Yeah. And you wash it with hot water.
We grab a basket, like a Mexican basket, and when then we just move it. It doesn't have to be hot water. It can be normal water.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you make also other kind of production like dragée or pralines or not yet?
Uh, Like pralines we have made, but we only do it for seasonal products. We don't have them like line products.
Okay. Look, we all know the difference between the big company chocolate, so the big producer, what is called commercial chocolate, and the bean to bar chocolate. Okay, smaller size artisans and different kind of organization. Okay, how do you explain, how do you educate your customer to your chocolate that is different from the chocolate that they can buy at a supermarket?
Uh, like an educational campaign, maybe.
Yeah.
All the customers we have to teach them about compound products. The main difference here in Mexico is that all you find in the supermarket is compound. Uh, Compound means that you add veg. I think in English is vegetable fat,
Yeah.
hydrogenated fats. So these are fats that are not that good to your body. If you use cocoa butter, is healthier than using these vegetable fats that might be related with cancer development and obesity. Um, Inclusively, I've been making experiments with myself. Eating compounds means that I get a lot of acne, no,
Yeah.
like me.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's the difference between using normal cocoa butter, because with cocoa butter is uh, your body can digest better chocolate, can process it better than this vegetable fat.
Yeah. And I guess you have a direct relationship with the cocoa farmers. Okay, so probably they also explain their feeling towards the bean to bar movement. Do you think there is a big difference between the relationship they have with the big companies that buy a lot of cocoa beans and volumes, and the relationship they have with the cocoa with the bean to bar chocolate maker that is smaller?
There's a closer relationship between bean to bar makers to the cocoa producers. Also, what we are trying to do here in Tabasco, uh, well, maybe us, we have been promoters of this movement, that the producer becomes a bean to bar chocolate maker. Uh, not only that the like chefs come from big cities to make chocolate, but we are trying to make the producer go further. So they are the ones that become bean to bar makers. It's been difficult because we don't have that much of resources to do this. Um, but I think the cocoa market in Mexico have been growing and for good. Uh, Chocolate consumption, I think it has increased. I don't have like data, but I've seen that you can see more chocolate like in the stores, in the social media, and there are many bean to bar makers, and it's been great. It's been great. Chefs from the cities have benefit. Uh, Cocoa farmers. I think we are going in the good way. Speaking of the cocoa market,
So you don't fear competition. If these cocoa farmers turn into chocolate makers, they will be your competitors.
yeah, we obviously they are direct competitors, but what we are trying to achieve is to rescue cocoa beans, and the more bean to bar makers means that way they will demand more cocoa beans.
Yeah.
So the farm will start to grow, and well, maybe with this we can all benefit. If people in Mexico consume more chocolate and are used to eat more and more chocolate, I think there's market for all of us. Right now, we are too low in the consumption per capita. I think the last, the last,
Statistic.
the the last statistics, yeah, the last statistics indicated that it was like 500 grams per person a year.
Wow.
It's too low. It's really
Sure.
low.
Very low, very low.
Yeah, right. We just had a trip to Brazil, and consumption there was like 2 kilograms per person, and they say it's too low. So
Yes.
we are too low compared with,
Yes.
I don't know.
France, Switzerland, Germany, Belgium.
I think that the more chocolate makers, bean-to-bar chocolate makers, can develop the market. So it is not, it is too early to think about the competitions, but it is a sort of community that together try to give more news, more educations to the people, to the market, and this is the right way. Which is your main market? Do you sell also abroad or just locally into the border of Mexico? And if you do abroad, do you have dealers, importers? In which kind of markets are you selling?
Well, right now our main market is locally. We have our own stores. We have like, well, right now there are going to be 11 stores. Um, we expect to grow even more. That's our main market. We also sell in organic markets. I mean, dark chocolate, all or cocoa beans that are produced organically. We use them for dark chocolate, and we have export, and but not that much. And the things that we actually export are cocoa beans, not mostly chocolate.
Vicente, how much important is technology for you for producing your chocolate? And I want to also to ask you if you have a personal idea that in the whole process, if there is one point, one step that is more important for the taste of your chocolate than others.
Well, I think it's like a personal opinion. Um, in my case, I'm in the production and I'm in the factory. So maybe for me, the most important part, or maybe the most important area, will be the one where we mix the ingredients and we refine chocolate. Um, I think it's the most important right now, but I think all the areas are very important for me. But this is a key area because without that area, we wouldn't be able to make chocolate. Um,
For example,
I think
do you feel that the taste of your chocolate depends more on I don't know, roasting more than on conching?
I think it depends more on the one I tell you, that it's the formula, the conching, the refining. This area specifically, those three things. So it's like a whole. Therefore, our key flavor comes from there. Yeah. Oh, roasting is also very important. I mean, roasting, pressing.
Okay, so the secret of a good chocolate it is the ingredients and how do you mix the ingredients in, in in your formula. Yes, it is. Yeah. So we have quite finished, and like always, we ask, how do you see your brand in the next years, and how do you see the bean to bar movement in Mexico in the 2030?
Well, as a vision, maybe we wish we could be like a world reference. Like, okay, if you go to Mexico, you can buy Cacep Chocolate. It's like a key chocolate there. And not only us. We wish that, I don't know, if someone like you, Boscolo, come here, say, we have to visit Cacep, we have to visit this guy in Merida, we have to visit the guy in Ciudad de Mexico. So, like, there's a chocolate tour about traditions, culture, and that we could all share the benefits of cocoa beans. I mean, here we have this culture in our hacienda that we don't only produce cocoa beans, we produce all kind of products. I mean, fruit like mangoes, we can say zapote, we can say lemons, oranges. We all work together like symbiosis. We try to respect Mother Nature. So if we can do that with our nature, we can do that with all of our competitors. I think that the bean to bar movement can be bigger. It's going to be bigger, and we can all share the benefits of chocolate. And well, that's good for Boscolo, because
That's true.
they will demand more machines.
Yeah, that's
It is.
okay.
Okay,
We have
Vicente.
quite finished our interview. Thank you very much for your time. We hope to see you in person
Yeah.
once once in a while, sooner or later.
Yeah, we actually want to visit Italy. We are trying to plan a trip next year if COVID let us and the war let us. Uh, yeah, we are scared about the Russian war, but maybe next year is less and is safer. And yeah, we wish to visit like many cities there in Italy. Yeah.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you. See you.
See you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.